Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised. And, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
All right, welcome to another episode of Geekmen and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I am Dustin.
And I am Zombie.
Indeed.
Welcome to another tantalizing toy tale on It's Frickin' Figures.
Yeah, love it. Dude, so what's been going on, man?
A lot of work. A lot of managing parts going one way or the other. Trying to sell some stuff, same old.
Peddle your wares and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Speaking of peddling wares, we have a today only sale for Omega Level Toys.
Yep.
So
our good friends at Omega Level Toys, they're running a 1-day sale for Labor Day. So once today is over with, stroke midnight, it's done, it's gone, it's over. So the sale, if you go to their website, omegaleveltoys.bigcartel.com, their site-wide 15% off discount. Everything that's Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Wrestling, Marvel. They've got a bunch of exclusive major bendies for wrestling. Check them out. They even have a store exclusive with the logo on the package for those major bendies. But again, today it's over. Once it's gone, it's gone. At checkout, use the code LABOR2024 to get that 15% off site-wide from them. I know Travis would appreciate it. Go support some small business. He's out there hustling and struggling just like the rest of us. So if you do, tell him Zombie sent you.
Indeed. Or 15% off.
That is correct. And he just got in wave 3 of the Cosmic Legions. That's the one that's got the red jet. That's really popular. Tusk Pilot figure. And that
that one. That one's so cool.
Yeah. This one's a hot one. So if you've got one out there that you got your eye on or whatever, this one's a pretty popular one. Another one is the Sphexian Mine Worker. I'm not sure if he's got those in yet. I know those were kind of in a separate shipment. But if they're not on site yet, they will be. They're on their way. Yep, he's got those. Those guys, that's Kragnar. Those are in stock too. Most all of the Cosmic Legions, with the exception of High Warden Slog, are in stock. That one's been sold out. Our own Derry Cares got the last one of that one, I think.
He did.
He took advantage of the previous sale with the 20% off that they were running.
Right.
But he also, he does have the Poxus wave of Mythic Legions in. Those are really great figures too.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. That one is loaded with soft goods. There's quite a few of them that have soft goods on those. I'm struggling right now to think of one that might not have any kind of soft goods, and I can't think of one right now. Maybe the horse doesn't have soft goods or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it does.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
That one in that line, I think that's the only one. I mean, I could be mistaken, but he's also still got some of the retailer wave 1, because the second wave is coming soon. That's the one with the glow in the dark headless horseman. He still has those in stock. Halloween's coming up. Makes for really cool decoration, and that one glows in the dark. It's got glow in the dark features on the face, the horse itself, the eyes, the hooves glow. That one's a really cool figure, really cool set. So yeah, he's still got those, and to fit with the spooky season, he's got the blue retailer exclusive blue glow in the dark Hagnon. It does glow blue. This is supposed to be like a ghost, a specter type of figure. Comes with 3 different heads. You've got a knight head, you got like a zombie kind of looking head, and then you've got a skull. And the skull's got an articulated jaw too. So that's a cool little feature.
Yes.
So yeah, go get some cool figures, man. Really.
Dude, seriously. I mean, you're making my mouth water, because I definitely want that Hagnon, but and that freaking red dude from Cosmics. It's like, dude, there's so many good figures out right now. It's not fair.
Yeah, there really is. And I mean, Omega Level Toys is a relatively new approved retailer for them. It's been less than a year, I think, since we made the announcement for them. So yeah, seriously, he would tremendously love the support. If anybody out there is watching, go check him out. It is what it is. I don't know what else to say about it. He's a great dude, excellent customer service. I've never had a problem with him. We've developed a pretty good friendship, I would say. I still need to set up a time with him though, because he wants to do a whatnot sale since he's got this latest Cosmic. So I'll keep you updated on that when I found out more about that. When his and my schedule lines up, we'll advertise that for you.
Heck yeah. Well, and we need to get him on the show in general.
Yeah,
just to hang out and talk toys. I mean,
I keep telling him that because he's got a hell of a story. I mean, he started. He was just like one of us, and he would end up going to all of these different stores, toy hunting, and he would see stuff and he would just buy it up, and then he would let everybody he knows, hey, I got this. I found all of this stuff. Save yourself the trouble to where you don't have to go out and hunt. I've got it. Come see me. And he would just sell out of his car, and it developed into a business for him. So it was, he's got an interesting tale. And I keep telling him, we've got to get you on the show. So we'll see.
Yeah. So again, that's omegaleveltoys.bigcartel.com, and site-wide at checkout, enter Labor 2024 for site-wide 15% off discounts. Again,
today only.
Go do it.
So if you watch this on the replay, I'm sorry you've missed it. I know we've been kind of jumping around on time slots here recently, so this is like our old time slot that we're occupying right now because it's Labor Day. So
it was a Labor Day special.
I didn't have previous engagements that I had to attend to like usual. So
well, because my mom was like
sorry.
saying that too. She's like, oh, normally I'm in bed. I don't get to see your show on Monday. And I'm like, yeah, but it's at 9 tonight. She said, oh, well, maybe I'll be able to watch it then. It's like, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so you want to move on to what's in the box?
Yeah, let's do it. What you got? Because you had a birthday and you've got stuff. I know you do. So let's crack into that. What'd you get?
All right. Well, first of all, I got. Let me do this here. I got these little minifigures.
Oh, nice. I
My
remember
girls
those.
got them for me. And it was a Dollar Tree or something like that. So they were all excited to give that to me for my present, and so I got that. So that's the main thing that I got from them. But the other one I got from my mom, and that is the Invisible Tigra.
Oh,
This thing looks
so you didn't have
so
this one.
insane, right?
You didn't have this one already. I thought you did.
I did not.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It almost looks like ice.
Yeah. And it's meant to be invisible, so it I don't know, it works. It works so well. And
that's really cool. And that's a Super 7?
Yeah. Came with his ropey one. And I have him posed with his hard flexed one.
Ropey one.
Yeah. This one actually has a rope on it.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because it's made up of like a very clear string, which is just mind-boggling because I didn't figure they'd actually incorporate that, but they still did. And I mean, it has extra hands and another head, like just a more somber, serious face. But right now it's got his sort of growling one on there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I love it. It is.
It sounded like the whip just cracked.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, let me.
That's awesome.
Get out. How do we? There we go.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember those little minifigs. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
For a time. Different styles, different brands.
The Invisible is awesome. It really is. It's
I can hear that theme song play in my head right now.
I know. It perpetually plays in my head because I mean I'm surrounded by it. I have my Vultureman and I got my Chilla with her Hawk Tua action going and Snarfer all up in right up here within reach of my desk here that I somehow haven't managed to like move off yet, but
you don't want to know what's around me within reach. It's a giant mess. I need to straighten this room up. There'll be no room tours anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier. Someone was talking in the chat with Pops earlier, and because today is Pop's birthday. He is the founder of the Madness.
Yeah, happy birthday, Pops.
And so yeah, and someone was just talking. Oh yeah, they were just saying how I have to work on cleaning up my house, and it's just like, dude, just throw an invisible background on or a CG background on, because I mean it's pretty much how we live. I know my spaces. I have a whole stack of stuff here, whole stack of stuff all the way over here. I mean, I have my latest stuffs all within reach, but it's not that I don't have room. Well, it's kind of not necessarily true. I really don't
my problem
have
is
a whole lot of room, but
my problem is time. Just trying to find the time to dedicate to one particular activity at a time, and it doesn't work because sometimes my wife will say, "Hey, did you forget about whatever it is?" Yeah, I forgot about it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me stop what I'm doing and go take care of whatever this other thing is. Too many things going on. Too much on my plate.
Yeah. Too
So
many.
I'm sorry.
No, nothing. I was just commenting about too many things.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
So I've got a few things to share.
Do you want to go into the history of what you're about to share, or
No,
just share it?
because I've got some what's in the box stuff.
Okay.
First thing is, and this I don't know if I want to call it an addiction.
How's it going?
Hey, Batman. I don't know if I would call it an addiction. I would say a side collection, and I blame this on you. I blame this on you, Dustin.
Me? What did I do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Makes sense. It tracks.
So, yeah. So it's the I guess that's
it's the Super Saiyan Vegeta.
Super Saiyan Vegeta, and this is my favorite armor for Vegeta. This is the Cell Saga, Android Saga armor.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one just looks so much better than some of the other incarnations of the armor that they've had over the years or whatever. But yeah, I found that, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I got to pick that up.
Heck yeah.
I've got Goku somewhere around here, and I've still got that Gohan that you sent me that I've never opened yet.
Oh man, that Gohan is like magnificent.
So I ended up reaching out to. Oh yeah.
How's it going?
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Seriously. The Dragon Ball hair makes me laugh every time.
I have that hair.
Well,
I mean, literally.
I reached out to a friend of the Mythic Legions community. He goes by Kent Pool Collects. Check out his channel on YouTube. He goes around basically filming his toy hunts. He goes to a lot of different places. He'll stop in at Ollie's or Target or sometimes Walmart, really wherever. He does a lot of traveling, I think. So he hunts those stores so you don't have to. So you can see what's out there on the shelves. But yeah, go give him a subscribe. Go watch his stuff. He's he's definitely a character. But I had noticed a few things in his videos, and I said, yeah, Kent, if you see another one of those, if you go into Ollie's again and see another one of those, pick it up for me. I'll shoot you the money for it, pay for shipping, whatever it takes. So
nice.
I got one of these.
Oh,
Direct from Kent.
Nice.
And this is Joe Fixit. This is kind of an upgrade to the Build-A-Figure that they released a few years ago. He comes with the new head and that big Tommy gun. Like I said before, I've had this love-hate relationship with Hasbro, with Marvel, and all that kind of stuff. He does come with a couple of extra. There's fists, and there's another alternate head.
Okay.
He's got that big shit-eating grin on his face. No hat.
Without the hat.
Hat's not removable, but I love the portrait on this guy. He's just got that snarl, and Tommy gun is freaking huge. It's massive. I don't know. I just like the gangster type of figures or whatever, and he goes great with this guy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I do too. I really like this version. I've got
excuse me. I've
got Hammerhead up here on the shelf somewhere up there. I forgot to get him down or whatever. And I've got the Tombstone in the suit, Mr. Big, whatever they call him or whatever.
Yeah.
That version of him. But that's not the only thing I got from Kent. This took some doing, but I was able to snag the Ishkan exclusive for the Tusk Heavy Gunner.
Hang on.
I haven't opened it, of course.
Nope,
haven't opened it yet.
Oh, yeah,
So,
it is big.
Yeah, I was already on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got so far the list of all the ones that's been released. There's a couple of bios. There's a little write-up on both sides of the box. There will be a standard version of this released. It was supposed to be September, but I did get some news. So far, it's been pushed back to October.
Okay.
So the standard release, which will, I don't know if it's going to come in the same type of box or not. The box might be a little bit different. I don't know. They haven't really said much in the way of that. But yeah, thank you, Kent. If you get to see this, thank you, Kent Pool Collects, for sending those two over to me. And then I think the last thing is, so there's, man, how to even introduce these guys. There's a couple of guys in the Mythic Legions community. One of them goes by Monster Machine Creations. He does a lot of sculpting and stuff for toy lines or whatever, a few toy lines. He's actually doing some work on the Brutal Realm figures, I found out.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know he's done at least one of the female heads. It's like the Native American female with the braids. That's one of his sculpts. I can confirm that one.
I want that.
He's done a lot of stuff privately, though. And this is one of those pieces. It's a dwarf. It's a dwarf head. And there's also a belt buckle to go along with it. And I'm going to end up prying that out of there and putting that in it sometime around the time I'm going to paint it or whatever. But yeah, this is the first time I'm even showing this, I think. I got this from my good buddy Noah Pratt, who is a member of the Mythic Legions community. He's a member of the Mythic Legions Cabal, all of those Legions Cabal subgroups, all that kind of stuff. So I was able to get this from Noah, sculpted by Monster Machine Creations.
Can you put that closer to the camera? I want to see that sculpt. It looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah, let me put him right up front. Is it? I can't see. So is it focused?
Yeah, it's focusing. I mean, you get the gist.
Okay.
But it's amazing.
It's full of character, full of just awesome details. What I'm showing here on camera, it's not doing it justice, really. It's really not. But yeah, that was really, really cool of Noah to send that over to me. I did get one more thing, but that's going to lead up kind of into the main topic of the show tonight. So this was a surprise sent to me by the Four Horsemen. I had no idea this was even happening. I didn't know. I ended up getting like just tracking out of nowhere. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't order anything recently. I don't think anything's supposed to be getting released because I'm never the first to get anything.
Right.
What the hell is this? All it said was, it had my name and Zombie 13 and a tracking number. I'm going, what the hell is this? So, I'm going to crack it open here. This is called the Sword Horseman. And this is a very special edition, very limited edition of this sword. This was a gift that the Horsemen decided to create and send out to their approved retailers. So you're probably thinking, well, wait, you're not an approved retailer, Zombie. How did you get one? That's what the topic of tonight is going to be about. I am actually the person that came up with the original design for this sword. And along the way, it got named Sword Horseman, not by me. The design was changed a little bit as it kind of evolved into what it is now. And this is like electroplated, like it's almost like vac metal, the blade and the handle.
Yeah.
But this is so cool. And they're individually numbered. I ended up getting number 13.
13.
So I'm very excited and very humbled by this gesture, by this gift from the Four Horsemen Studios. I think I partly have Jeremy Gerard to thank for this, really, because he probably demanded that they send one to me and it be number 13. But they also sent out this this little, it's like a certificate kind of piece of paper thing here, and it explains, it's meant for approved retailers and a few things like that. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but yeah, very, very cool. And it came in a really cool box.
Heck yeah.
I will probably never open this. Although I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like it's taped. Okay, so the bottom is taped. The top is not. So, I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, so I, as kind of the original creator of this design, I can say I still have every version of this sword that's out there. So I before the Mythic Legion's cabal on Facebook existed, there were message boards. Message boards were all the rage. Everybody had message boards to every kind of fandom that you could think of. Four Horsemen was no exception. They had a message board system for years, kind of almost right as soon as they kind of left McFarlane and started working freelance and started doing work for other companies or whatever. There was a message board that was created. I was part of that. I was a member of that for years and years and years. So I remember even going back to their first project. It was done under something called Fantastic Exclusive. And that was a system where the fans got to vote on things like this was for the creation of an action figure. So the fans got to choose from like different types of sketches that they had done for the character, first of all, and a Minotaur one. It was called Zethius. Later that evolved into a series called the Seventh Kingdom. But you got to vote on what scale the figure was going to be, the weapons, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of things that you got to vote. And it was done in tiers. So the end result is what would end up getting made. And then they didn't just make the one character. They did like 7 of them or something like that. So there were 7 different versions, and the other versions of that figure had a different head, totally different paint jobs, all that kind of stuff. So they did a few series of that, and they ended up moving away from that platform after I think the last thing that won a fan voting was through the Gothotropolis title that they did, the series that they did. Under that, they did Scarabus, that character, and all those variants connected with that. And then they did the birds. The Raven was the fan vote winner. And then they did a bunch of variations of birds and all that stuff. And one of which was, along the way, everybody was going, okay, well, it'd be really cool if you did like other birds too, so you can maximize that body, because we all know it's coming. So a bunch of people started suggesting a bunch of different, there's blue jays and cardinals and vultures and owls and all kinds of stuff people were suggesting. And I suggested a griffin. I knew that they weren't going to go with like a different lower body or anything like that, but a griffin was one of the choices that they made, and it was titled Griffus or something like that. So I kind of had like a little sway, a little suggestion there. Hey, make a griffin, and then that comes out. So all of those were done under Gothotropolis, and then they came up with the Mythic Legions. The knights and orcs and skeletons and all that kind of stuff. So they were going to do that on a smaller scale, like a 4-inch scale. But people saw the prototypes, which were larger scale, and they were going, no, we want that.
Right.
That's what we want. That's what I've always wanted. Night figures that size to go with the rest of the scale that I collect or whatever, you know.
Right.
And they listened. They listened. They did the numbers and they said it's not really going to cost that much more to make them bigger. So they made them bigger. So by this time they had done a couple of Kickstarters. So they said, all right, well, we're gonna keep with that platform because it kind of reduces the risk for all of that. So here's where I get the idea during this first Kickstarter, official first Kickstarter for Mythic Legions. I took one of the pictures of the swords that they had and edited it with the avatar logo that the horsemen were using for the message boards, and put that symbol over where the handguard would be and down part of the blade because of the way it was designed. Actually, Dustin, would you pull that up?
Yep.
So this was my first edit that I did, and I put this all over those message boards and eventually ended up putting this picture in my signature in hopes that they would see it so that it would get made. I don't think they spent a whole lot of time in their own message boards, to be honest. Since that first Kickstarter, I remember in those very first days, you know how Kickstarter goes. They hardly ever take off right when they get launched.
Right.
Unless they're a super popular name like McFarlane or whatever, who's raking in an ungodly amount of money on his Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
So it was kind of slow. It was slow. So I'd actually printed on paper pictures of some of the figures and went to local shops in my area to pitch to them, hey, you know, you do tabletop gaming or whatever, y'all do the fantasy stuff. Like, these figures would fit great in with people that are into that kind of stuff, you know? So I'm not associated with Four Horsemen. I don't work for them. I'm not paid by them. I'm not paid to be a fan or talk about them. I am a fan and I do talk about them quite frequently. But I pitched to every single shop that I could think of, and like none of them were interested. They were like, yeah, what are you talking about? You know, get out of here. We don't, you know, is this something Marvel's doing? Is it DC? Who's doing this? And you tell them and they're like, who are they? So shame on you for not listening to me in the past, you know. But yeah, for years and years, I was campaigning hard during that first Kickstarter to just even get this scene. And everybody on the message board was like, this is such a great idea. I don't know why they didn't do it. You know, the first Kickstarter came and went. Figures were starting to get in people's hands. And I just kind of left that image up in my signature. So a little bit of time goes by and they release this image. Of course, it had another background as well. It was all green and swirly and everything. And I meticulously went into MS Paint, very sophisticated program here, zooming in and erasing the background and all that kind of stuff until I was left with this image, which was a better image than their original that they had for the message board. It had, you know, a lot more texture to it and everything. So then I took my old image and created this next mock-up and replaced it. Come on, zoom. There we go. Replaced it with the old one that I had in my signature.
Yeah.
And there it stayed. So around this time, they did their second Kickstarter, which was called Advent of Decay, where they introduced a new scale. It's the 2.0 scale with the slimmer figures, the female figures. Yeah. Elves, to be exact. So, you know, I was campaigning hard. And again, you know, even before that Kickstarter came out. And there was another community member. He was going by Is the Wiz. I think he's got a YouTube channel called Adam Power, I think. I don't know. Look him up. But there's even an episode that he did when it obviously eventually got made, but I have to thank him because he took this image that I had and he went to one of the conventions that the Horseman was going to be at and showed them. And he said, look, Zombie's been trying to get your attention. He's been trying to get you to see this so you guys would make it. Everybody loves it. You know, here, look at it. And he said, because he messaged me afterwards, and he said, yeah, when they saw it, they said, why didn't we think of this? It's such a great idea. How did we not think of this first? So with all of that going on and everything, all the conventions they were doing and what have you, the second Kickstarter came out. And by this time, I just kind of like, yeah, okay, he showed them, he fulfilled his commitment that he said he was going to do to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, he showed them, and I'm like, all right, well, I was going to eventually make my own anyway.
Right.
And I'm glad I didn't, because during that Kickstarter, that second Kickstarter, this was revealed under one of its stretch goals. And that's when we first saw the name Sword Horseman. And of course, they took my design and embellished on it, changed the blade, changed the handle. That skull kind of symbols is basically the image that I just shared previously, where I said I'd cut out the background and everything. Like that's it. That's the one. So they did. They followed through. They made it, and it came with the character Thistlethorn.
Love that character.
There's a whole like write-up for that character and a little bit of one for this sword. Maybe I'll look that up after I'm done sharing these pictures here. There's not that many left or whatever. So during the Kickstarter, when they revealed that stretch goal, Thistlethorn, and he would come with this sword, I was just on cloud nine. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. Had so many people reaching out to me going, oh my God, they finally made it. They're making it. Everybody's getting it. So yeah, that was really cool of them. And then here's a shot where I did a side-by-side of my original design and their take on it. So a quick little side-by-side shot there of that.
Yeah.
And then I took a comparison. Of course, before the advent of Decay figures actually came in hand, sometimes they like to do this thing where they release, they call them test shots, where they're all done in gray.
Yeah.
And you can there's an option to where you can buy those if that's kind of something that you're really interested in. So at the time, I picked up 2 test shot figures. One was the female skeleton soldier builder that they did. The very first one to hit my cart, though, was the test shot for Thistlethorn, because I was so hoping that he came with the test shot of the Sword Horseman, because they were saying these test shots, if there's an accessory in them, it's going to come with the test shot too. Nice. So that was my hope, and I'm hoping, and it did, obviously. I took this picture. The black sword is the Aether Blade, and the sword to the right with the gold is the oh God, I just blanked on the name. It's the sword, the good guy version sword.
Yeah, it's the good.
These legendary weapons. It's like the so there's the Aether Blade, and then people are probably screaming at me right now. How could you forget this? Like it's the sword that Eartheron carries. I'm sorry, the name escapes me. But it's, as you can see, Sword Horseman is longer than both of them.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But, I mean, it's got that crazy large horse skull design to it. So
yeah. And it looks so crazy in comparison to Thistlethorn, because it's literally his entire body plus some. Because I have him posed on, and he has his, it's sitting on his shoulders, and he has his hand thrown over it, because he is the keeper of the relics and different other treasures. That was part of his bio.
Right.
And so it's just, I just love how he has that on his shoulder. It's so cool.
It's funny, and I've got a shot here of a Thistlethorn holding it, and I don't think their intention was to ever have Thistlethorn as the wielder of the
Oh
sword
yeah,
horseman.
definitely not.
But I think when people get this figure, I think they make that association like, oh, this is his sword. Okay, it came with him, so why wouldn't
Yeah.
people think that? But him being like the keeper of the relics of the realm of mythos and everything, I think that's kind of fitting that they threw it in there with him for that reason. But as far as the official wielder of the sword, like they've never really came out and said
who it is.
But I take comfort in the fact knowing that Thistlethorn's guarding it until the wielder
until such time as the wielder
shows up,
reveals himself.
Right. So this is a smaller scale figure on the 2.0 body, thick goblin size, if you're familiar with that scale. So he's a short little shit.
Sword is literally taller than him.
It is. It's taller than him. Here's a shot of the 2.0 skeleton that I mentioned, and I no longer have this this test shot. I think I ended up sending it to Walter Hagen, but by comparison, it's even taller than the 2.0 size figure. It's still taller than that. So it's a beast of a sword. It really is. It's huge. Here's a shot of the regular 1.0 skeleton holding it. So, I mean, I got the head tilt going like, it's big. But then here's a close-up that I saved of that test shot so you can kind of see those details.
It's just so magical. I love it.
With the runes inscribed down the face of it and everything. I'm still in kind of disbelief that it finally got made, and now I've got this very special edition. I love it. And I can say, I had a design of mine officially made in toy form. So it's not my exact design, and I'm so glad they punched up the detail on it or whatever. I'm gonna hop over to Source Horseman. Let's say sourcehorseman.com, and they have this thing here. It's called the Armory under Mythic Legions. And it hasn't been updated in a little while. Typically, what they were trying to do here was...
I actually suggested this.
All of the different designs of weapons that they have enlist the characters that come with those weapons. I don't think it's been updated past maybe Advent of Decay. I could be wrong. I'll have to get on Jeremy to update all this. But
I messaged him specifically for this, and I was like, dude, it would be nice to have as a customizer, because back then I used to customize stuff, but I was like, it'd be nice to know, okay, this is what I need. I need to buy this figure because it has this weapon that I need for this custom I'm making. And he's like, all right, I think I could do something like that. And then,
well, at the time, I think that was before he officially became employed by the Four Horsemen. So he was just kind of doing stuff to help them out. Like he designed this website for them. The website Source Horseman, this current incarnation of it. Because that's what he used to do. He was web design and advertising and stuff like that. So. And it was sorely needed because at that time the message boards were really dying. They couldn't update them. A lot of stuff was broken, and they didn't really
just to check out in the cart. Like,
for the store.
It's for the actual store.
It was a nightmare, and he did that too. He did their store. This is not the store. This is the main information hub website, Source Horseman. Now, the store is called Store Horseman, I'll get to that in a little bit. But here is the bio write-up for, Under the Armory or whatever. This weapon, which bears the logo of the Four Horsemen Studios, was available as a free giveaway to anyone who backed the Advent of Decay Kickstarter campaign. And what they're referring to is that copper-colored one on the right. That's the Kickstarter exclusive. Now, you could also buy extras of those. It was a I don't want to say a tier. What was it? It was an add-on. It was an add-on. That's what they call it on Kickstarter. So it was an add-on option where you could buy as many as you wanted. That color variation was the Kickstarter exclusive one. It was also available in a different color scheme with the Thistlethorn figure that came from the same wave. That's the greenish tinted kind of green-blue one that you see there on the left. The design of this sword was originally created by Mythic Legions fan Eric Zombie13 Boris, that's me, on the old SourceHorseman.com forum. There was also an error version of the sword created. Factory made a mistake during the production run, and instead of painting these with the awesome metallic color, they opted for a flat brick red dubbed the Sword Horse Meh. This version was given out for free to fans at ZoloCon 2020 show in oh man, my mind just blanked. PA. Help me out. What state is that?
Pennsylvania.
Look, Pennsylvania. Jesus, geography is not my strong suit. Okay, I swear
I get you.
Yet another release of this weapon was in the 20th anniversary edition of the Equidron figure. So that actually, I'm wearing the shirt from that set right now, and I'm going to go to Equidron's page. If I can, let me back up to the home page. Now, if you go to oh, I passed it. No, that's waves released. Our checklist. Here we go. Mythic Legions checklist. This is all of the figures that have been released and announced to date. So some of these aren't quite in hand.
Yeah.
What you chuckling at? Did I mess something else up?
Oh no. He was just commenting at Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not. Seriously.
No. I totally kind of like Transylvania.
I know, that's what I almost said. Look, it's spooky season, all right? That's where my head's at. This is Equidron. This was a figure created for the 20th anniversary of the studio. And he came with an interesting colored version of the Sword Horseman. You can see there, it's kind of like a gunmetal type of.
Yeah.
Let me get my pointer out of the way. Which is, I love that. I love that darker color of it. That's just one of my favorite colored versions. As plain as it looks, I still love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a special character that they created. This is an ogre scale, so he's much taller than
he's
even the
same
the
size
1.0.
as this guy.
Yes,
not with the forearms.
Yes, and he came in a special boxed version, and here you can see his helmet. Looks very familiar.
It's a very familiar thing.
Yes.
Look at that.
So same design. So maybe he's the rightful wielder of the Sword Horseman?
Yeah.
I don't know. His bio doesn't really say.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not going to read his bio. If you want to know more about this character, go to the website. Just like I said, look, I'll back out and show you how I got to it again. Here's your landing page. Pull up the drop-down menu, Mythic checklists. They're in alphabetical order. You find the E's. So there's two versions of Equidron. The first version, just titled Equidron, is that anniversary edition. He is the one that came with the Sword Horseman.
Yeah.
If you scroll down to, there he is, the S's, this is Shadow Equidron, and he was a much more, much wider release. He does not come with a version of the Sword Horseman. Same figure, just a different paint job.
Yeah.
Might come with a couple of different accessories. I know he doesn't come with the Sword Horseman though.
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, this is the bio is a little bit different, so it's kind of like the same like race, but it's not the same character. So, all right, let me hop off of here real quick. Dustin, if you want to drop that, and make me a little bit bigger. So this is the version of the Sword Horseman. That's the Kickstarter exclusive. That's what it looks like in hand. Here is the Sword Horse Meh that they had mentioned. And you can see it's not the same color. So this is, it's very flat. And there's actually two different colors on it. So it's not just a single color. There's a wash on here and everything. So it's not like the factory half-assed this at all. But because I think it was kind of lovingly titled Sword Horse Meh, like this one somehow is less desirable. I don't know. But they were giving this one away for free at the conventions they were going to at first. And then I think once stock kind of started getting low, I think some of them got mixed in with some of these, and they were selling these. I mean, they would go like hotcakes at the conventions or whatever that they had them at. So there was chances to get both of these really at any of the conventions that they would go to. Let's see, where was I? So yeah, so here's that special edition one again next to the Kickstarter exclusive.
I love it.
I'm fighting the glare and the angle here. There we go. So yeah, that's really, really awesome. So yeah,
now, is it really silver or is it more like gold? Because it looks gold in certain angles.
On this,
yeah,
it's like gold plated or something. It's gold. It's very shiny. I mean, think like that Vac Metal look on you know, toys from the 80s or whatever that they did. That's exactly what it looks like. But in the official statement that the Horseman came out with, they said something about gold electroplating. So I mean, that it may be actual gold plated. I'm not certain on that. Like, I just got this a few days ago, so but yeah, that's I'm still so excited about that. I forgot where I was going next.
I mean, that would be an extreme honor for sure. That's
I mean, and I was actually told I am the only non-retailer to get one. So if you're not an approved retailer, I mean, you know, I can't imagine any of them selling that. I mean, if they do, I mean, they're individually numbered, so I imagine they would probably know who sold it. But I mean, it's kind of one of those, like, I mean, it's kind of in my possession, so it's mine now. I can kind of do whatever I want with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be a shame if anybody that they sent one had to sell it for, you know, whatever reason that they had. But yeah, so I don't know. If you see one on eBay for whatever reason, don't expect it to be cheap.
I already have a list of people that I know. It's like, all right, I'm going to reach out to this person.
Yeah, there's like, I know for a fact one was sent to Omega Level Toys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hop from Source Horseman to Store Horseman. I don't know what just happened. Let me try that again. There we go. I must have typed something wrong. So they still have a sale going on right now.
Unless
of course,
it's got a carat grade, it's probably just electroplated gold colored metal. All right, that's good to know.
Wait, unless it gives you carat grade. Yeah, I don't think that, like, it's not included. So it's not solid. Yeah, like it's not made of metal. It's plastic.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it's definitely just plated. But yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick. They still have some stuff in stock. Oh, I see a couple of things sold out.
Dang it.
Since last I checked, the Templar Relic Builder has sold out, and that Ogre Legion Builder 2 has sold out.
Nice.
So, and these could be taken down at any time.
Yeah.
And the skate decks. I think the skate decks are hilarious. I mean, people collect some strange things. This is the least of them. I don't collect stuff like this, so it's always like, oh, that's neat, I guess, for the people that like that stuff.
Right.
But a lot of the people that I've seen that have gotten these, they use them for, just wall decoration. I don't think anybody's actually like put wheels on them and stuff and skating around with it. But the one that really got me was the one that says sticker board. Because I didn't catch that. And then I saw somebody that had one of these, and they are putting stickers on them. Stickers from the community, stickers from people like me, that's got my own custom stickers or whatever. So, and that's what they use. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's one of my latest stickers. So anybody that ends up getting something from me, whether through trade or they buy something or, whatever it is, I usually try to toss in some of my stickers with it or whatever. But yeah, like I said, if you see any of this that you like, grab it now. This is the cheapest it's ever going to be that you're ever going to find it. Straight direct from the Horseman.
It hurts.
I think it's about time for another Figura Obscura to come out. We're getting close. People are getting antsy.
Well, I mean, it is what? Yeah, I mean, they released the Horseman. So,
yeah, who knows what that's? Who knows what they're going to?
I mean the. Headless Horseman.
Yes,
that's.
I don't think.
Release the.
So I don't think they would do another Headless Horseman.
No.
But
I don't. What could be that theme? I mean, the last one they did was Monkey King, right?
Well, no, it was the Ghost of Jacob Marley.
Oh, right.
The last one. And see, they love their holiday stuff.
Yeah.
I know Eric Treadaway loves Halloween. He loves that spooky stuff. So the previous year for Halloween, they did Mask of the Red Death.
Yes.
And he said that one was kind of just, they knew they wanted to release something, but they didn't know what they wanted to do. And that one was kind of just a moment of inspiration for him. And he banged that one out real quick.
Yeah.
Because he caught the mood.
Yeah, right.
But I know they love that spooky stuff, so it could be any day that they tease something for it. And those Figura Obscuras, those are always in stock. Those are never pre-ordered. Straight, like their original first releases, they're always in stock, almost ships right away, straight from the Full Horseman. And the Figura Obscura, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that's figures that they make that they can't quite stick into Mythic Legions or Cosmic. Sometimes they're based off of literary works. Sometimes they're based off of mythology.
Yeah.
It could be anything. Literally anything. I mean, that they could actually make. They did the Anubis and Bastet figures, and they're just historical Egyptian god type mythical characters. But they have, the past couple of years, they've always had a release sometime around Halloween and sometime around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I would still suspect that they're going to have something, at least 2 more come out this year, and it's going to seem almost back to back.
That's 'cause
On
it is
Jeremy's
practically back to
show,
back.
Jeremy Gerard, he is their sales and marketing manager. That's the one that I've been kind of mentioning by name here a couple of times tonight. He has a show on YouTube called Mythic Conversations. It's almost every Wednesday night, unless he says otherwise. Last week he said, because he did kind of a Q&A session, and he hasn't really done that in a while. So people would ask him stuff. And he said, look, I'll answer within reason. If you ask me what's about to come up, I'm not going to obviously tell you. We keep that stuff close to the chest until it's time to tease it and release it.
Right.
Someone asked him, to date, this year, has your favorite figure been released? And his answer to that was no. So I can tell you the Mythic Legion's Necronominus wave is not going to be out this year. They wanted it. They wanted it to be released. They were hoping to have it for Legion's Con in November. It's not going to happen. There's still some stuff that they're working out. That wave had the most new tooling parts for it to date in Mythic Legions since its conception. So,
which is a good thing in my opinion.
Yes, that breathes a lot of fresh air into the line with a whole slew of new parts. And people like me that customize this stuff love it. We eat it up because it's an inspiration point. And you can only imagine so many things looking at the pictures until you get them in hand and you go, oh crap, I need more of this one because then I can do this with it, or I can mix these parts and make this look. And then I've got all these other parts left over. What am I going to do with that? And then you're looking, okay, well, I need another one of those to put with this part, and then I can make this. So it just blows up from there. Once you get some of them in hand and you realize what you can do with these toys, sky's the limit. Your imagination is the limit. You know, it's I cannot stress enough how cool these figures are. I know I talk and talk and talk about it, and there's probably so many people out there that's going, God, would he shut up about it already?
Numbers are dropping right now as we speak.
I'm not going to stop talking about it until you get one in hand and you realize, okay, I get what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some things that just need to be experienced firsthand.
Exactly. That's a new 1.0 body. That is the Valiant Knight, the first true 1.0 figure that could do a two-handed sword pose. Which goes to show you they've gone back to the drawing board and redesigned some of those parts to achieve more of a deeper angle for the elbows, the knees, even the necks. They went back, they redesigned the neck. I've got one sitting right here. Before, all the necks were just one solid piece. Like they didn't move except side to side. Well, now they've added a hinge. There you go. They've added a hinge into that. So now this bends down. It's a little stiff too. So it bends. Oh, that's not enough. There we go. So now instead of straight up, it bends out forward and back like that to where you can make your characters look down or up. And it feels a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
So bend that back straight. So yeah. But yeah, it's so the original parts that they created for the line. This is not a figure from the original. You don't have to make me bigger for this. This is not an original character from the first series, but he uses a lot of the same parts from that first series of Mythic Legions. Specifically, these arms, the legs. These were all sculpted by hand. Like this was a point in time where they had not fully transitioned to digital. So you can actually take all these old parts and look, and there's an asymmetry to them. Like they didn't sculpt one arm and then mirror image it in ZBrush or whatever to get the other arm. Like it's hand sculpted. There are imperfections in these armor pieces, and I've painted enough of them. I know exactly where they are, even down to like the scale of the chainmail in the elbow and knee joints and everything. There's these very subtle differences, and you could tell they were sculpted by hand. So now, like with that Valiant Knight that you just showed, that one's total digital sculpt. They have moved into the digital age fully. So they can go into that program and they can cut out, some of the material that they've used for in the elbows and everything, and see how far they can push it.
Yeah.
So they're making progress, and then, you get all these different characters they can create just so quickly, and it almost kind of runs away from them sometimes. They say, all right, well, we need to back off on this wave because now it's gotten so big. So, and that fear comes from the advent of Decay Kickstarter, because they had a cap limit that they were going to do for character releases. But the way that Kickstarter took off, it was so unlike the first Kickstarter. It funded within hours. The Advent of Decay funded within hours. And people were going, give us more, give us more, give us more. And then there were other people in the comment going, please, God, stop. I can't afford an all-in, and I want it all. And it ended up being this massive wave. I think. So I didn't go all in. I was damn near an all-in. But I didn't go all in on that wave for Kickstarter. But my shipment, when it got to me, there was these 2 huge boxes. They couldn't even ship everything in one box. I can only imagine what people that went all in, or multiple all-ins, and these boxes were massive.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh my God. I can't
There's really no hiding it at that point.
No. And this was really before approved retailers was really a big thing. So it was really like the Wild West. Like individuals would buy extras of certain ones. Like they would watch the comments, and back then, well, even now on Kickstarter, you could see how many people have pledged for which character. So people were using that as kind of a guide of, okay, which one's going to be more popular, But then I was also telling people, all right, now remember in the first Kickstarter, there were some characters that really weren't all that popular, and we only had the images to look at.
Yep.
And so those characters, there weren't as many made as the other characters. Otho being one of the biggest ones.
Exactly. It's like,
then you had Sir Orn Ironside, Steelhide, something like that.
Yeah.
The little green dwarf. Fully armored green dwarf.
Yep.
And he wasn't, like, the story that they gave him wasn't like your typical dwarf. Like, he didn't live in the mountains or anything. He lived in the forest, in the trees and stuff. And people, like, they really weren't going for it, So they produced less of that. When these figures started getting in people's hands, people were taking pictures of them and showing them. All of a sudden, like, any extras that were out there vanished. People were hunting them down. Yeah. So I was warning people, hey, that might work. You see which ones are more popular and everything, but that can also bite you in the ass, because you're adding to that number. There's going to be more of them out there. Look at the ones right now that aren't so popular, because those are the ones that are going to be highly sought after because there's less of them.
Yeah, so Shadowhawk says, I buy the least backed figures first, usually.
Yes, because, especially if you're doing this as kind of an investment. Yeah. It's like, there's less of them out there. So that commands like a higher price when people are like, I've got to have this, where can I get this?
Orange Steelhide and Otho were just magnificent figures.
Yeah. Once people got
still haven't even got to hold one.
So I have an Otho. Let me get my, which way am I going to move? That blue right there, that blue blob, that's Otho. So I got mine. I loved Otho when they showed him off. Totally. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. He was, to me, so different. He stood out in a good way from all the other characters that they were showing, like him and what's the Attila and Atlas, the
Mhm.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
Those were like my top two from the first wave. I'm like, oh my God, I love those. Like Atlas, like I was so worried that first Kickstarter wasn't going to get funded. I started collecting body parts from other figure lines. I'm like, if this guy doesn't get made, I'm making my own. Like, I don't even
Right.
care. And luckily, it got funded, so I scrapped that real quick.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I'm going to wait for him to come out. And he's like right here, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these that are out behind
he's a great
me,
figure.
these are a lot of the original Kickstarter figures, the ones that are on the shelf right here behind me. I've got some Advent of Decay and other ones sprinkled in, but the majority of them that's behind me are those original Kickstarter figures.
Yeah.
But Otho, back to Otho, I want to say, like, people were complaining because, like, his head's too big. His head, why has he got such a big noggin? And I didn't really see anything with it. They claim they reduced the size on it, but it doesn't really look different to me.
I don't understand how. Like, he's
But
got
yeah,
dreads.
I love it.
I mean,
yes.
It's part of his is part of him. Like,
right.
Okay.
Oh, Night Shadowhawk.
Thanks
for joining us.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, he's one of my top favorite Legions. I can't pick a favorite, so I have to say top favorite.
Yep.
It's a group. It's a group.
And is it weird to say that he's in my top favorite and I don't even have him? It's just like,
so
they're hard to get.
I don't think they're going to re-release that original version of him.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure they're going to do a version 2 of him. They've been going back and doing second versions of these named characters in much more elaborate decorated armor and new body parts, new pieces.
Yeah.
So I would suspect sometime in November we are probably going to see Otho make a comeback. People are clamoring for it. But on the flip side of that, the Horsemen are known for not doing what you expect them to do. So everybody's expecting it, so they're probably going to push it back.
They're also where everyone's expecting a release of the
Dragon.
No. Well, yes, Dragon. Yes.
That.
That thing. I'm still waiting. It's going to be... I honestly don't want to see the end price. I hope that I've passed and gone from this world before they ever drop it.
No. I really do believe they might not. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they'll have like a fully painted prototype that they'll be able to show this year. It is the year of the dragon. It's the 10th anniversary year for Mythic Legions. I think they're going to show something. They've got to show something at Legions Con. I really think it's that they're going to, if they don't show it, they're going to tease it. And they know everybody wants the dragon, since Corn Boy jokingly said, yeah, we're going to make a 3-foot dragon eventually. It blew up. Everybody latched onto that comment like it was the gospel truth. And much to the chagrin of the rest of the studio, I think they're kicking Corn Boy in the ass a little bit on that one. Like, why'd you have to say that? I'm afraid of the price tag on it, because I'm afraid first of all for the price of what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of how big it's going to be, because where am I going to put something like this if I can afford it?
Right.
Because they always put that pre-order up right after the final figure, the reveal.
Yeah.
And there is going to be a reveal at Legions Con. The next big wave will be released.
Yeah.
Will be revealed, not released. Will be revealed at Legions Con. On the, what was it, the first weekend in November, second weekend of November? I forget when.
Yeah, it's in November.
You'll know about it because we'll be talking about it.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm not gonna not talk about it.
Yeah.
I can't go, so I'm gonna live vicariously through everyone else.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much how I roll these days in general. But
yeah, And it's funny, you know, along the same lines, I used to toy hunt everywhere. I'd have to stop at every store. If I knew they sold toys, I had to stop there. I was out there hitting the pavement, driving back and forth. There was one time I stopped at every single Walmart from where I'm at now in Louisiana to where I used to live in Mississippi. And that took hours. And I used to buy so much just stupid stuff. Just, I don't know. And I've really cut back on that a lot. And I'm a little more satisfied these days just to kind of go down the toy aisle and check out to see what's out.
Yeah.
Because I don't stay on top of everything that used to come out like I used to.
It's impossible.
So like when I found these, total surprise. I had no idea these were even going to come out. And this is the movie figure for Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Total surprise. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I want that. So I had to pull some strings to get it. But yeah, that nice little surprise that you get because you didn't know something was coming out and then you see it. You know?
Yeah.
I think I'm probably just gonna start snapping pictures of the new stuff that comes out. And like, oh look, I found this. I saw this. You know, did you get it? No, I'm satisfied with taking a picture of it.
Took a picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
I mean,
out
that's
there, go
pretty
look for
much
it.
what I do. Because if I actually get to a store to begin with, I take pictures of figures, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that was a cool figure. Oh, that was a cool figure.
Some of this is from my time of like overspending on crazy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm eventually gonna, you know, whittle it all down to where I've just got a few things. Eventually, when I got time to go through it all, I've got so much stupid stuff. Typically, what I end up doing is I give it to Travis at Omega Level Toys and let him sell it on Whatnot.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do with it. So. Because I found out that trying to piece it all out is such a pain in the rear end.
Yeah, it is.
And it helps him out because even though I don't get 100% of what he sells it for, we split it. So it helps support him, and it helps collectors out there that may have been looking for some of this stuff get a really good deal on it.
Yeah.
Because he I mean, on his Whatnot sales, he just kills it. Constantly and just every single time. But yeah, that's another thing I should probably bring up more often is go check him out on Whatnot. Just
yeah,
you'll have to download the
earlier
app.
Today.
Yeah, he did. It looked like a bunch of Build-A-Figure pieces that he was selling.
Yeah.
So and he does that. He does his sales in themes. Sometimes it's, you know, loose Marvel Legends. Sometimes it's Build-A-Figure pieces. Sometimes it's wrestling. You never really know what you're going to get. So you have to go download the Whatnot app. Sign up is free, you know, and then just search Omega Level Toys and he'll pop up. You'll find him. It's very easy.
Yep. For sure.
I think that's about it. I've reached my limit on what I was going to talk about with all of that.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
I'm still geeking out over this.
Yeah.
My Invisible Tigra.
That's a really cool figure. Were you able to do a pre-order for the new Lino and Mumra Super 7? No, you couldn't swing it?
No, we weren't able to swing it. There was no way.
It ended on a weird day too, like
August 25th. It ended on my birthday.
I mean, like if it would have went like another, like if it would have ended like on like a Saturday past a payday or something like that makes a little more sense to me. But that's it. I don't know. It ended on a weird time. Like I couldn't get in on it. I wanted to because those really kind of interested me, even though I don't have like any of the other characters or whatever. I'd be fine with just Mumra and Lino.
Yeah.
Especially since they're on new bodies. They've been resculpted, redesigned, and they had that really cool light up feature.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they'll be available on Big Bad. They usually are.
I'm not sure. They might be, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't look at
if I don't get them, then it's fine. But am I gonna watch for them? Yeah, I might watch for them, but I mean, I have all the others. Almost.
I mean,
all the others.
they eventually may even go on sale at some point.
Yeah,
you never know.
I still want to pick up. I actually went through Big Bad and whatnot, and was like, okay, here's what I don't have. And then I'm just like looking at the list. It's like, now, is there anything that I really don't need? I mean, I don't know. I would like to just collect the entire line and just have it, to have it. But I've just been cherry picking the things that I want the most, and Tigra is one of the ones. The Invisible Tigra was definitely one that I really wanted, because I really want to get a figure that hasn't been released yet. I want to get that figure. He's called Red Eye, and I want to reenact the scene from the cartoon where Tigra goes invisible, and he's thinking, "Oh, I'm good. I can run around, do whatever I want, and beat up this bad guy, right?" No. Red Eye has infrared vision and can see his heat signature, and he's just like, "I still see you," and then just completely beats the crap out of him. And it's just like, I want that. So that's my whole reason for wanting to get the Invisible Tigra. Well, other than the fact that it's a cool figure. It's really cool. I mean, I have Ghost Jaga, which was a big one for me.
There's a whole fandom out there just based off of clear figures. Like, that's all they collect. It's got to be clear plastic, and they go for it.
Yeah, I know. Justice has a ceiling. It's like a chandelier type thing, and he has all the clear figures. He just collects random clear figures and puts them up there, and it's just like,
that's hilarious.
That's wild, man. Invisible Tigra on Big Bad.
Aren't the rest of them?
Aren't the rest? Sometimes they are.
I think what he meant in that statement is that other character hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. Yeah, not yet.
Have they said that they were going to make that one yet? Have they?
Oh, no, it hasn't been announced yet. The latest Lunatic that came out is what Big Bad Toy Store. I'm gonna look and see if
because I know the Lunatics were like your favorite villain group of the Thundercats.
Yeah, I like them more than the mutants. Like, the mutants are cool and all, but they weren't the most fascinating ones to me. They were more like a joke, because I mainly watched like the second season, and the Lunatics were the exact polar opposite of everything that was bad, everything that was good about the Thundercats. It was everything that was bad about the Lunatics, or however you want to say it. So it was yin yang, basically.
Right. Well, they had abilities too. They weren't just fighters, or just like basic skill like the mutants were. They were kind of a serious threat by comparison.
Exactly, and that's why they just were so cool and so much more interesting for me. So they haven't released Tugmug, Red Eye. I think that's it. Tugmug, Red Eye. We have Luna, Amok, Chilla, Aloro. And maybe Queen Luna. They had an arc for Queen Luna at one point, so that's probably all of them that there will be. But I just find them so much more interesting than just the mutants. That I don't know. They were just fighters and just whatnot. They were just a hack. But I digress. That is one thing that is annoying to me in the Thundercats comic. They're still going over the mutants, and it's like that's the big threat. And it's like, okay, but yeah, let's bring in the more interesting villains like Chilla and Aloro, and let's do some of that. Like, I know that's not how it works chronologically, but how about let's work in some of the other more mysterious villains? But I don't know. I digress. But
sorry, I needed to mute. There was like a bunch of sirens going by.
Yeah, I heard that.
Sorry, it got really loud there for a second.
Awesome that Brutal Realm funded, more than funded. Yeah. It was great for them.
It really took off, especially, I mean, they got just a huge boost after the Big Bad Toy Store numbers were added. But after that, like, the fandom really came out and just put another breath of fresh air into the whole thing, and it took off.
Yep.
Like, I think within a few hours after our interview with them, I think like the next morning when I checked it, like it was even past. They had to quickly put up the 3 female blanks, and then below that was just a bunch of text about the 3 female warriors, like the 3-pack of the male warriors that they released, not the blanks, but like just the basic builder figures. Like they didn't even have art for that up yet. Yeah, and it just kept going and going and going, and before you knew it, Lion Lord got unlocked, and I wanted to talk about Lion Lord so bad in that interview.
Yeah, leaps and bounds, man.
They were like, "Yeah, we're not quite sure yet." So
they're being modest and hesitant.
Yeah,
but
I should have said no. We're talking about it. I'm gonna mute again.
But I mean, seriously, I'm really happy for them that it funded, and I'm hoping to have some money so that way I can throw towards them when backer kit comes around, because I have a few friends that have gone in on it, and it's just like, okay, I don't have the money now, but I know I'm safe because I can always hop on the backer kit with them. And
I got you back because I did slide in a boy, I am just on a roll tonight with my brain not working. I did pledge for a figure, so my backer kit is your backer kit. I've got us on Lion Lord. I'm gonna get us a Lion Lord. I'm gonna get one for you and one for me, because we're gonna get them back on the show, and we're gonna get them to say, like, this is the official Geekmen and Master of the Thunder Nerds figure.
Heck yeah! I see. I wanted to put you in touch with them just straight now and just be like, dude, hey, have this be our tribute figure or whatever.
Yes,
let it have it be our figure.
Yes,
dude. I mean, you're better at talking to people than I am. So
I'll get them on here live and put the pressure on. Like, that's our figure. I mean, look, you can go back and watch that interview. Dustin, when you pulled those pictures up, you had him on screen before the other ones by accident. Yeah. So he was in our show. Yeah. He was in our show before he was put on the Kickstarter page. Yep. Man, what is going on? All hell is breaking loose outside here.
Fire or something.
There's another. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe the world's coming to an end.
Man, the zombie apocalypse finally happened.
All right.
Oh boy,
you heard it here first.
In our little here in Louisiana. God, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, the world's already going to crap anyway. But
no, I joke. I hope everybody's okay. That
no,
was
for
a
sure.
lot of. That's a lot of trucks that just went by.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm gonna look into that after we end the show, actually, because that's. But yeah, no, we're definitely gonna get them guys back. If we have to drag them kicking and screaming, we're getting them back on the show.
yeah, for sure. If you'll take note of the description, the link in our description, you'll see a very worthy cause for to donate to a I'm blanking on the name.
Which one are we talking about?
The,
I don't want to jump in and assume.
Your
the GoFundMe for
yes.
My okay. So we probably should have brought this up a little earlier. I don't know who's still watching at this point. Okay, so there's a GoFundMe going on right now.
Yes,
GoFundMe. We are trying to raise money to get a headstone for my stepfather. My mother lives in an assisted living community. She's not bad off. She loves it there. Everybody there loves her. But we lost my stepfather 9 years ago, and we still haven't been able to get a proper headstone for him. So that GoFundMe is still going live. In the event that goal is met, when we're able to get that, and there's additional money left over, that will transfer over to my mother's final expenses cost. My mother's in good health. She's not going anywhere right now. I just want a full disclosure here. If that goal is surpassed, that's what's going to happen with the rest of that money. That will go towards her final expenses in the event when that does happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you still have the links for that or not, but we can put that in the description.
Yeah,
for the
it already is in the description.
Okay, good.
So, but I don't have
anything helps.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, a whole lot. Even if you just want to share it in whatever social media that you're going along with, whatever you're a member of, it's going straight to the people that need to be paid to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciate any kind of help, any kind of share, any kind of, eyes that get on it. Anything helps. So thank you from my family and me.
My phone's dragging. Sorry. Are we still live?
Yes. You didn't end anything.
No. Okay. I wanted to make sure my phone was messing up, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't yet. But all right. So that's everything that I have to talk about. And there's a little backstory for you here about the Sword Horseman, which was fun to learn about and get to know and all that. So hopefully y'all found that interesting. I know I did.
It's funny, every now and then I'll come across somebody that I've been talking to for a while through Messenger or Facebook or whatever, and that sword will get brought up, and I'll tell them, oh yeah, I designed that. And they're like, no way, there's no way. You really? And so they get a kick out of talking to somebody who's like, I had no idea, that's so cool. So there's still a lot of people out there that have no idea the history of that sword and that design and everything. And I'm very humbled to be a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
To actually have my name on their website somewhere is crazy.
I saw someone commenting about it, and they were talking about, oh yeah, I want to get this or whatever. Where can I find it? And I said, hey, we're going to talk all about it on our show tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I have a few extras of this one. So maybe maybe I'll do something with Omega Level with the extras. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
This is something that you'd be interested in getting. You may have to follow along with Omega Level and Zombie 13 to get your hands on one. I won't profit off of this. I'll be giving them away whatever I do. So, but maybe you'll have to make like a purchase with Omega Level toys or something to get one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Stay tuned.
All right. But
with that being said, let me go into wrapping this up for us. We've got another show coming up on Friday, ADHD Theater. If you've only just started watching us here for It's Freaking Figures, we do the ADHD Theater. We pick a couple of movies, we assign them for everybody to watch, and we talk about them, good or bad. Come what may. I freelanced R&D work for Hasbro and Mattel.
Back in the 90s.
And back in the 90s. Gotcha. So yeah, Fridays at what time, Dustin? You give us your time.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock on
Eastern.
Fridays.
Yep.
9 o'clock Eastern on Fridays, because I can never get that right. It's like geography. Time, it's relative.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, we're gonna have to get you on here at some point to chit chat about this.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your story.
Yeah,
message Dustin, because don't message me. He's the man that sets everything up. I have no power here.
the designer for Ninja Night Force and ABSA freaking. Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get another interview show set up. Have you on board.
Yeah.
Come back next week for It's Freaking Figures at our new time, not tonight's time, our new time at
which is regularly 10:30.
10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be back at our new time next week. Tell us about some of the other shows on the Madness Network, Dustin.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have Tuesday Morning Brew at 10 o'clock. Maybe at 11 o'clock. Tuesday Morning Brew. There's always a litany of shows coming up that if no matter what you're interested in, there's something on the Madness Network for you. So if you there's plenty of shows in our archive to go back and check out. I know we just had a little birthday soiree for Pops earlier and hung out and just chit chatted about stuff that was going on and so it's just a fun time. Just find something that you love, and as they said in the we said in the quote from earlier, find something you love and pursue it, basically. So to paraphrase, but I will now officially find the witchy do. All right. All right. Thunder Nerds Ho.